I used to make a lot of excuses, and the way I made those work in my mind is I would promote that excuse to a valid reason. This is something I think a lot of us do, and I can only give you my experience with this. But I had this experience happen this morning, and I thought, man, this would make a great one take. So here we go. What happened to me this morning was I left a little later than I normally would on a Saturday morning due to some family obligations. So when I was going to take a hike this morning, it was already hot. It was, high 80s. And I was really excited to make a video today and to make a little bit of progress on getting ready for a trip that I'm going on next week. So I was talking it over in my head, and I said, well, I could just go make the video, and that way I wouldn't have to deal with the heat. I wouldn't have to take all that time it takes to hike in the morning. And then I stopped myself, and I realized that I was making excuses, but coloring them in my mind to look like reasons, to look like they were valid. They weren't really valid. The hike I needed is to prepare for my trip next week, which is a backpacking trip. It always helps if I get a few long hikes in before I go on one of these trips. So today and tomorrow will be the days I'll get to do that. So I've also used that when I'm trying to do some work. Let's say you want to make a presentation. Say you're an entrepreneur or whatever, or you would need to make a presentation for work, and you don't have quite all the information you need. So you don't even start the presentation until you get all the information, telling yourselves that I need everything before I can start, which is not really true. You're taking an excuse to not start and making it a reason. Now, once again, I can only give you my experience, but I've done this and noticed this behavior in my past and realized that I was making excuses, but giving some validity to that excuse by promoting it to a reason in my own mind. Therefore, putting a little cement by there that says, hey, this is real. This is something that is stopping me. It's an actual blocker. When in fact, it wasn't. There were many things I could do to move forward without all the pieces that I said I needed. An example I can give you that's a real good example and a recent one. I would like to have a better camera to do these recordings. I would like to have better lighting and a better microphone. I'd like to have the perfect setup. Everybody would like to have a perfect setup. If you wait until you have everything perfect, then you'll probably find another excuse not to start. My advice to you today is analyze when something is stopping you from the start that you want to make, evaluate it. Is it really a reason, or is it an excuse? And even if it's a reason, is it a good reason? How can I get around this? How can I get to the point where I can start? So that's my one take for today. Don't allow excuses to elevate themselves to reasons in your brain. Make sure that if something's stopping you, that it's an actual blocker and not something that you're just allowing to get in the way because it's more convenient or safer or it feels better than actually starting that project. So thank you for listening.